I'm going to repeat that whole spiel. Okay, so I am super excited to have you guys on. You are a North Carolina band. I'm so excited because you're our first North Carolina band. And you guys are the members of BabeHaven. Do you guys introduce your guys yourselves? I have been trying to find everybody's name.
Yeah.
Through Instagram. And I've not been able to accumulate everybody faces with their names.
That's okay. Yeah. I'm Naomi, and I play the guitar.
I'm Lily. I'm the main vocalist.
I'm Brendan. I play the drums.
I'm Juliet. I play the bass. I'm over here.
Awesome. No, like I said, Alex can see everybody, so you guys are good. So, I do actually like try to look up as much information through everybody's social medias as I can. So I have
Oh my god.
information on you guys to be able to ask your questions. So I did discover that you guys are relatively new to the music scene.
We're relatively, I guess. We're about 3 years old. We did just move here last summer to the Triangle, but we started in Boone 3 years ago, and that's where we all met. So yeah, definitely relatively new, but we're, oh my god, sorry, we're putting the dog away. Yeah, he's just wandering around, but yeah, pretty much we're starting to get into it and become a lot more serious. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because you first showed up on Instagram at the kind of like this middle of the summer of 2021.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and we're kind of curious where you came up with the name, like how that all came about.
Name. Well, Naomi and I are like the OG members, founding fathers, if you will. But I want to say around like March of 2021 is when we started kind of thinking about names and trying to plan more concrete things. And we just kind of had this, like, I think I might still have it on my phone. We had this notes app thing of like a million different words that we like and different, like we were putting them together and trying to make band names with them, and BabeHaven is the main one that stuck. We kind of had to, we played our friends like barn-ish kind of thing. That was our first show. So they gave us like a 5 p.m. slot and told us that we had to come up with our name and like put our name down right now. So we just kind of decided on BabeHaven, and it's stuck. It's a good name. We like it.
Yeah, I mean, I do. It's when I saw the poster and I like walked by it because I was at the bar and I was like, BabeHaven, huh? I was like, that's a nice ring to it.
Thank you.
So I also saw that you guys dropped your first EP, 4 songs, at kind of the end of 2021, which that's a nice, like, you guys hit the scene and you literally took off running.
Yeah, well, what can we say?
We, at the time, our bassist knew a guy who was her music teacher.
It was in Durham,
basically, opened up his studio space just for us to kind of like record something. It was honestly more to get our feet on the ground and kind of like see what the music process, like the writing process was like. And when we started the band, we only had 1 song, and then we kind of just like put them out just to have it. So looking back on it, it's definitely like not our thing. And we're actually trying to get it to where it's just like only on Bandcamp, but it's kind of cute because that's just kind of like how we started, just like as a band. But we don't necessarily like identify that sound by any means.
But it is cute, and I mean we just kind of threw ourselves into the scene, and because we kind of always wanted to start a band and make waves in the scene, so we figured the best way to do that is to just start playing shows and start making music, and figured we'd get better as time went on, which we did, fortunately. But yeah, it was a little, the opportunity was there,
we just took it because why not?
Right, like, I always kind of feel like in life, though, that's how it works. If you just say, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to throw it out there, those things will fall into place. And do you kind of feel like that's how that happened for you guys?
Absolutely. Yeah. Things, we just keep trying to listen to our intuition and do what we kind of feel is right. in that sense, and things do kind of come the way that they should. They like fall into our laps, which we're really grateful for, and we put in the work to get it that way. So yeah.
Okay. So on your post that you had put about putting out that first EP, you guys talked about it, just like some things that you learned as that being like a 3-day learning experience. So when you guys sat down to write those songs, like what kind of a process did you take for writing those songs?
I think, to be honest, for the first song, like Bad Witch was like the most popular one. We didn't have any of the members, it was just me and Lily. So I kind of just wrote the guitar and the drums for it, and it was actually really stupid.
That was the first song that we ever wrote. So I mean, that whole EP was us just figuring out how to write songs, pretty much, and I think it's pretty evident. And like, it doesn't mean that I think it's bad or anything. No. It's definitely like unpolished, and like it's a new band. Like you can tell we're a new band.
I like that song.
Yeah.
And you guys answered my question, because I was just telling Alex before we got, I was like, I found this song when I Googled them the first time. I was like, but I don't feel like it's them.
Yeah, it's definitely like not. And it's kind of funny too, because actually our first song that we wrote, we like took this stupid word that we found on Urban Dictionary. It was catboy or something like that. Because I was like, what does this word mean?
We just thought it was...
And I just like played a simple progression, and she just kind of sung along with it. And then we completely just like changed the lyrics and just like actually like made it a tune. So it's just like a really silly, stupid thing that ended up being like loved by our community at the time.
We thought the term catboy was so funny, so we kind of just that's what literally our
stupid.
Naomi played like that, and we just made a really stupid song about Catboy or whatever. That was like the name of it, and then we decided to actually make it a real song and change all the lyrics to it. So that's like a lot of our songs kind of happen that way, where they are just kind of, we were just messing around for the most part.
So how do you look at, like, when you look at the things that you've done in the past and you compare it to what you just put out, like, how do you feel that writing process has changed, or that the inspiration for those processes have changed?
I think we're a lot more, I'm going to use the word polished again, because it just, and we have gone through a few member changes, obviously, and I feel like where we are now, we have a lot more experience writing as well, and it's a little more organized. And with Brendan and Julia, we'll kind of just like be in the space and spend a few hours kind of figuring out what sounds good and like getting the basic structure of our song figured out. And it just kind of comes a lot easier now just because we have more experience, but we still kind of use the same technique, I guess.
I would say the approach. I would say that it's more collaborative, 100%. Yeah. I feel like all of us kind of put in an input rather than it being strictly on kind of like one person to produce an idea of like the song. And we also kind of progressed our sound from being like, which we still are inspired by like the Riot Girl era, but we kind of wanted to grow with that and see how we could change it and make Riot Girl more like malleable and like throw different genres into it, like hardcore elements, even like new metal elements and stuff like that, which we are really trying to like hit on for this album. So yeah. But I guess like too, if like Brendan and Julia has anything to say with like what they've like kind of just like noticed, because Brendan recorded our last album, like Uppercut album, so he was there and he kind of like recorded bass with us because we didn't have a bass player at the time as well. So if you wanted to add anything about those changes.
I don't know. I don't really know what it was like before because I wasn't there before. But I know I've been in other bands, and I feel like with BabeHaven, it's a lot more exciting because everyone's like, someone will have an idea, and then instantly it's like the room is like electric, and then it's like this, and then I don't know. It's really fun.
It is fun
as opposed to like. And with other experiences, just kind of being like dragging other people, like, you know, I don't know.
We're all excited about it.
We're all very excited.
We all kind of bounce ideas, and like none of us are like, we have to do what I say. Like it's like we're all very open to like, well, okay, like what do you think? Like, and it, I don't know. I just feel like we work together well, and like he said, like in past bands, it's been like not so easy to collaborate with other folks folks. So it's nice that we can all, none of us are like, we need to do it my way.
Yeah, it is just a lot of fun. Nobody makes anybody else do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's we have a nice time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's nice. Like, I mean, I feel like
Thank you.
any part of a group should be able to like have that collaboration where it's everybody working together, because then you all get that satisfaction at the end of the day of looking at that project and going, we did that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And to me, I feel like that would be way more satisfying than just looking at a project and being like, oh yeah, I was just playing follow the leader that time.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, which happens sometimes. It's collaborating with 4 people can be. I mean, obviously, it can be difficult sometimes. Like, but we always. Something that I'm really happy about is that we're always able to come to a compromise or like some kind of agreement, or if one of us is like, this isn't really sitting with me, I want to keep working on it, then all of us will keep working on it until that person feels okay about it, kind of. So
And it's not as like me. I feel like for me and Lily, because like we've always just had changing like members for at least like the rhythm section. I feel like there was a lot of pressure because of like just the both of us, like me just writing the entire riff, like, or the entire song essentially just by guitar, and like not having any other input or any other like influences, like everyone just kind of following whatever I did, which I like. Wow. Well, not. I mean, I'm talking about instrumentally wise, like to like an extent, and it just was like too much because I just felt like I was playing the same thing over and over. I just felt like, I don't know, it wasn't like as cool, and it wasn't really like a collective sound. It just felt like what I was able to do, and everyone just liked it, and it was there. So, yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really like to hear that, because I also feel like that will be reflected in your music as time goes on. If you can keep that collaboration and working together like that, you'll see that, and then it'll help you guys keep flourishing forward as you guys go into those seasonal changes that bands eventually go through, where you're like, oh, we're going to step it up a notch this time, so we're altering something. And you've already done that from your first EP to now.
Oh yes, for sure.
So like as you keep evolving to see like how those collaborations work, I think it'll be interesting to see where you guys are a year from today.
Totally. Yeah. Hopefully it's I know. That's all we really talk about. So very exciting. So
yes.
I mean, just think about it. You went from playing in a barn, right?
Sort of sorts, yeah.
Sort of, to when you guys did this show. See, told you to have you closer. You did this. This is a sold out show.
Yes, yeah.
That venue only holds 365 people.
Well, I think it
was actually like 400. I
think standing room was like 450 to 500 ish. Or
we're not supposed to say that.
Oh, I mean,
I don't think anybody from the Farm Washers is going to be paying attention to us, but technically it's we're not supposed to.
You can cut that.
It doesn't matter how many people there were, it was sold out.
It was a sold out show.
Which was like kind of unexpected. Like we definitely weren't like, oh, no one's gonna come, but like we were not expecting it to sell out. I don't know. It was just kind of crazy because it's like the biggest venue that we have headlined, and it's like it feels like a legit venue.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty crazy.
It was kind of crazy. Like knowing that pretty much everybody was there because we were putting on that show that was so important to us. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and it was one of those few shows that I've been able to work where like you guys took the stage and the bar got slow.
Right.
Which is cool for me because then I get to just sit back and enjoy the show. So then I can really like take in the scene. I can take in what the crowd is reacting. I can take in how the bands are reacting to the crowds. And so it works out in my favor because I get to enjoy it while you're there. But yeah, it was insane.
Oh yeah. So hot. Yeah, so hot.
Yes. At one point they had opened up like our side doors to just like let it even out in the building because it was there was so many bodies in there.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it got kind of crazy.
It was a good time though. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yay.
You guys look like you were having a great time, and the crowd was having a great time.
Yeah, it was
always
and it was
a good show.
I have also noticed, like, you guys do a lot of fundraisers. Was this a fundraiser? I remember is that one?
Yeah, the show itself wasn't like necessarily a fundraiser. We did have Girls Rock there. The foundation, the organization Girls Rock North Carolina, they were there. And we did raise money for them at the show, and all of the poster sales went towards them. And we did like a raffle for them as well. So yeah, the whole show itself wasn't a fundraiser, but we tried to incorporate things like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I had just saw that on another post that you guys had made that you do a lot of like tagging in, hey, there's part of this is for a fundraiser. So is that just something that is kind of like really close to your guys' heart, that you like to find a cause to raise awareness to while you're at a show?
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. The community gives so much to us. And I feel like I'm like eating something. So I feel like it's our due diligence to like, with the platform that we have, give back to the community.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
it's more like widespread.
It's the least we can do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for like things like that, like young kids getting into music and like safe spaces for queer kids. Those are things that are really important to us. And so we're really grateful to actually have that kind of platform to actually be able to raise money for them. Like that feels really special to us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just like aligns with our like punk ethos.
Yeah.
On just kind of like
what's the point if you're not going to do things for your community? So
Okay. I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. Like, I have some notes that I have created, and Alex had actually was like, I have questions for them this time around.
that's fine. Hit us with it.
So I kind of want to jump back to 2022.
Okay.
You guys make a post and you're announcing our bassist is leaving.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And you're on the hunt for a new person to join your band.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I only bring this up because I screenshotted it. When I was reading that post and I was going through it, and I'm like reading off this list of things. And you're like, we're looking for new bassists. Here are some qualifications. You must be 21 or older.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I love it. You know, you got to play in the bars. We need people that can party with us.
Right.
And then you go on to go say queer biopic preferred. Preferably would be able to play guitar with some, but not a total deal breaker. Must be boon or willing to travel. Your gender identity isn't super important, but you will be joining a queer all-girl punk band.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're comfy openly being part of that, hit us up. And I love that you said that. Like, it's not a requirement, but and if you're cool with it,
yeah,
we will love you. And I say this, that I love it because I feel like we're in a time period where it's so much more acceptable for everyone to come out and be like, this is who I am.
Totally.
And so you're brand new to the music scene and you're like, oh, guess what? This is who we are. So were you able to find somebody that really fit that mesh? Because I didn't find anything else after that. I was like, where is this magic person?
Yeah, well, I mean, Boone is really small, and that's where we started looking for our new bassist, which is Julia now, obviously. But Boone is like, I mean, it's slim pickings, you know. Mm-hmm. So there were only so many people who fit that description, and only so many people who actually have the schedule that is kind of needed to, because at the time we were like becoming a lot more serious, and we're kind of like, you need to be able to base your whole schedule around being in a band, not the other way around. So Yeah, it kind of just ended up working out perfectly that Julia was there, and like she was telling us that she'd always wanted to be in like a riot girl band of sorts. And Brendan, I mean, they're together, so they were always, Julia was always at Brendan's when Brendan was recording Uppercut for us. And so we invited Julia to come on her tour with us, which was last May, our like first ever tour. And yeah, everything just kind of fell into place the way it should, and luckily still going strong. So yeah.
That's awesome. No, I love it. Like I said, I feel like we're just at that time where it's okay to be you. So like, as you guys were growing up, did you have that kind of strong support that you have now to just be you? And know that it was okay?
Well, as does anybody, like,
Well,
some
people
people
that have.
do
Oh,
most.
I was gonna say that kid on the other side of the screen for me definitely got that.
That person? I don't know. It's like
That person on the other side of the screen definitely got that. That's like one of the main things that we tell everybody, that our podcast is definitely a safe space. Like, and it always will be. So I always have to wonder, like, because I think, what age group are you guys? I know you're probably like in your 20s.
Yeah.
24, 25.
We're 24 and they're 25 now. We're about the same age.
Yeah, so I feel like at that point that you guys were growing up, the world should have just been a better place.
Should have.
Yeah.
It
slowly was, because like almost 10 years ago, that's when like gay marriage was like legalized.
Right.
Yeah, almost 10 years ago. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of us didn't really have and so many people that we're friends with and in a community with did not have a safe space growing up and to be who they were. And Naomi and I were just talking about that yesterday, actually. But that's also why it's so important that we cultivate a safe space at our shows and like in our demographic. We try and make sure it's inclusive and that everybody feels welcome in that way. And yeah, I think it's good. Sorry, I started staring at a spot on the wall and I just kind of...
Oh, no, you're fine. For some people, it's kind of a tough topic or a tough question to dive into. But I guess being a parent, I always wonder, like, what did other families, like, how did they handle that? Because I was just like, okay, I'm going to bed, I guess.
Like, do whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, it's taken my parents like 10 years essentially to like accept my like sexuality for one. And just like still trying to accept of like who I am as just like a musician too, and as like how I present myself and everything. Because like the most supportive I feel like they was kind of just like my dad taking me to like Warped Tour when I was a teenager, and that was like the only space that I had to like really feel like I could be me. And I didn't have friends to go with or anything, so it'd just be like me, my dad sitting in like the cooling tent or whatever and stuff.
So
and like
imagining your dad doing that.
And at the time, like, yeah, I did get like very like emotionally kind of like abused and attacked like quite frequently from like the people that were supposed to, be there for me and everything. So it was definitely tough. And I think the most important thing to me that I kind of like looked up to, or people that I looked up to, were actually queer women that were in like the punk scene or like the metal scene, the rock scene. I exclusively remember looking up just like any person that I could find that was, somewhat similar to me, whether it's like my being like Asian, being like queer, or being just like a woman in a band, point blank period. So
how do you guys feel like, being that female presence for a rock band? Like, you've taken this step, we are who we are, and we're gonna be in this punk metal band. And so how does that, like, when you're on the stage, how does that radiate with you guys?
Personally, I feel that it's very cathartic. And now we're like blessed to kind of be in this time where there are a lot of heavier femme presenting bands, which is really cool. And I think it's also cathartic for a lot of the audience members who maybe don't have the space to be able to like scream and be kind of angry and I don't know, because there's so much to be angry about. So it's pretty cool that we get to do that, and I especially love being on stage and being like very feral and angry when I'm dressed really girly and like, you know what I mean, if that makes sense, when I'm really like hyper feminine presenting and like, yeah, so I enjoy it. I think it's awesome. I think it's a lot cooler than a man getting on stage wearing sandals and a hoodie. So
Yeah, I feel like it's been, I think people are kind of sick of just seeing the same kind of like all dude rock, heavy metal, whatever band. And I think they're excited to see something new and different. I just feel like we have different things to say and like things a lot of girls and, you know, femme type of people, I mean, really whoever, queer people like can relate to that maybe hasn't really been said as much in music. I think it is now. Like there's a lot, there's a lot of femme bands that we like really like.
yeah.
And it's really awesome to see. And I think it's fun to be like, I don't know. Yeah, I think people want to see it and they want to hear what we're saying. And it's like kind of I feel like there's just been so like a huge amount of like femme bands and artists kind of exploding, and it's been really fun to be a part of that.
Yeah, totally.
It's just like, it's been, because we've obviously being in an, or not obviously, but being like in all girl band for the most part, just like all the hate we had to deal with. So like all of that hate was just ammunition just to put back out there with our like songs and our performances and everything. So it's really satisfying to be able to kind of just give a big like fuck you to basically like almost every single time we like play a show or like even we're trying to get our feet up on the ground, just constantly like belittled by other men in the scene, you know, like texts and just like everything. So it's really awesome because like people will still think that we're only relevant because we're just like hot, you know, like hot girls on the band. But I'm like, right, exactly. But
I think Icon for Hire said it best in what song was that, Alex?
You got
Said
it.
you did. They have a line in a song where
Now you know.
yes, that is the one. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that song, but you should go listen to it because she definitely like Ariel like lays it out about being a woman, being the front leader of this band, and how you are more than just yes. Literally, she says it's not about ass and tits, and she's like, something about I didn't get here by just fucking a man.
right, exactly.
So yeah, I definitely think when you can take that and put it out there for the world to see it.
Yeah.
It'll bring like the good and the bad attention to you. But a lot of times, even the bad attention is good attention because it gets all eyes on you.
Gotta learn to be okay with it. Yeah, it sucks. Sometimes we just want to like reply back or say something back that's very well, and sometimes we do, and you know it's fine, and we're allowed to. But I would say
Absolutely.
we're fueled by many things. One of the big things is spite. I think, and I think that that's also fine. I'm like, I want to get revenge, and I think that a lot of men are stupid, and I want to prove them wrong. So I'm very spiteful, and I'm definitely fueled by that. But I'm also fueled by love for my community. There's room for both of those things in there.
Yes, I very much agree. Very much agree with that. And you kind of like have answered it, you know, like what the inspiration is for the lyrics in your song, as it could be like your spite. Are there like specific instances in life that you use to fuel those lyrics and rhythms?
LOL. Well, yes, so many things. I mean, almost everything that we write about, or pretty much all the lyrics that I write are from like real life experiences, you know, and it's kind of like, this is why we're angry now. These are things that we're like thinking about and like consistently talking about and having to deal with. So pretty much everything is fueled by something that's happened to us multiple times. Like it's never just a one-time occurrence, as you both probably know. It's like, I mean, there's always fucking something, so there's always something to write about.
Right. And then when you guys decided that you wanted to create this band, what were you like? What groups were you pulling your inspiration for, or like from?
Nirvana, Bikini Kill.
Yeah.
Like even just literally feel like the entire
Like when we
just,
started?
like heavily, yeah, just like the 90s like
Yeah.
influence of that whole realm of like grunge.
We were
Kittie.
definitely trying to,
Yeah.
we're trying to like kind of figure that out. Obviously, that's like what our first few songs were about. We were like, who are we? Who do we like? And yeah, so I would say, Nirvana, Bikini Kill,
07.
Mannequin Pussy,
They were at the bar.
at Motorco. Yeah, I know. I wanted to go to that so badly, and
That was another sold out show.
I know. I waited way too long to get tickets, and then I went to get them, and it was sold out, and I cried. And then we tried to go see them in Cleveland, and then we couldn't.
Next time, ask me.
Well, now I know.
Next time, ask me.
Like 3 times, and it just didn't work out. But yeah, I wanted to go to that show so bad. It looked so much fun.
Yeah, I was like, who in the world is this? Like, it was one of those where I didn't get to check out who the band was before I showed up to work. And I was like, wow, this is not what I thought it was going to be. This is pretty cool.
They're super cool. Definitely one of my personal favorite bands and inspirations for sure.
Awesome. We're also kind of like curious, like, have you guys had, I see that you guys pretty much kind of just like tour along this East Coast area, correct?
Yes, for now.
For now. Have you guys had any like super crazy adventures while you've been on tour? Like anything outrageous happen?
Well, that's a great question.
Outrageous.
I mean, we've definitely seen some things.
Oh yeah, we did see someone getting robbed in New York.
We did, yeah. When we were in Brooklyn last summer, staying with my cousin, or last May on our first tour, we went to fucking Times Square at like 11 p.m. for some reason. Because Naomi had never been to New York, and it was like 10:30, I remember, and she was like, "Let's go to Times Square," and it was like our only chance to, so we had to. And anyway, we were like walking back, and we watched somebody get robbed, which was very like kind of jarring, but. I mean, there were a lot of things happening in Brooklyn all the time. I saw a bird eating throw up.
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
see that. That was gross.
yeah. So, desensitized is the word.
Lots of funny things. We got put in the smoking room at the motel.
Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah.
A $40
So we were in like a
motel
cigarette room.
It was just like we were like locked in a box with secondhand smoke all night. It was so crazy, but yeah. I mean,
Then also in Brooklyn
What?
too, there was like this whole fucking thing where it was like the show had to be moved to different venues. It was like we're supposed to play with like Stevie Dinner or something like that. He was the headliner, and then like things got posted out that he was like
A creep.
yeah, like a fucking creep, and like had, I don't know if it was like charges, but they basically like took him off of the show, and obviously we couldn't prevent like a
canceled the
$1,000
whole
like
show.
room fee though, because we were just little binky guys just trying to go on like little tour. So then we got put onto like a matinee show, which was like random.
So Trans Picos. It was
Yeah.
at 5 p.m.
Yep.
We played, and we wore garbage bags to walk to the venue from our parking space because it started raining. And we like poked holes in the garbage bags, and we were carrying all our stuff.
It's like right next to like the slaughter market.
Yeah, with like a bunch of like chickens getting ready to be
Exactly.
Yeah,
slaughtered. It was like a weird vibe.
Yeah.
that's where we met Matt and Kim though, which was really
So Matt and Kim happened to Kim mostly was doing like a thing where she was like going to a show every day. And they live in Brooklyn, so she just happened to go to that show and see us, and that's when they saw us and asked us. Well, they didn't ask us right then and there, but they
right.
they eventually reached out to have us join them on their southeast portion of their tour.
So that was pretty
In a
crazy.
couple months after that. So I don't think we were all pretty shocked to be going on tour so fast
and
after
because
our very
of that
first tour.
show.
That would get us the most
And
help.
because of our least favorite show probably that we played on that tour.
Most
I don't know,
people.
just by happenstance that we weren't even supposed to play. They just happened to be there. So
There were like 2 of maybe 20 people that were there.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
But it
like,
led to something bigger.
yeah, to like the biggest shows we played to this day.
That's
so.
cool. I also, talking about like festivals and touring, see that you guys play a Femi Fest.
In Boone?
FemFest?
Mm-hmm.
FemFest.
Yeah.
Is that the one in Boone?
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, the one. Wait, yeah, the
Yeah,
one in
BabeHaven.
Boone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was our. I mean,
Our first show.
That was our second show after the barn show, and it was Julia's band's first show.
I was in another band at the time, and it was our first show, and we all played together because we got all the three. There were 3 girl bands in Boone at the time, and we all played.
Oh, okay.
And it was really fun.
Yeah,
it was packed.
Yeah.
It was like a really fun, awesome DIY show.
Yeah,
it was
crazy.
And that
House show.
venue, the house show scene in Boone was really popping at the time, and everybody, like those 3 girl bands that had just never really happened before, and we all kind of popped up at the same time, had the same idea, and people were just so excited by the concept of there being like girl bands actually that there were like 500 people at this in this person's like backyard, and
It was crazy.
It was so nuts. It was kind of like a taste of what to expect, and we were like, okay, this is what people have been missing and craving is like, seeing girl bands, and that was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
That's cool. I don't know, Alex, do you have any other questions that you want to ask? Points that you want to talk about? Alex is kind of quiet. He's my tech person.
I'm serious.
Just watching the screen over on that side to make sure everything is like it is supposed to be.
Yeah. Oh,
It's like, no, you asked it already.
practical.
So, Brandon, how long have you been with the band, though?
Since January. No, it was December. It was like right before New Year's.
Yeah.
Our first show that we played together was at
Remember we practiced in my parents' like upstairs in my parents' house.
Oh, yeah.
That one time.
that must have been
I
think
that was like
that was after
January-ish.
January.
Yeah, okay, isn't that around
We
that
could
time?
say
January
January.
6th or 7th was our show at School Kids Records. I think that might have been your first show playing
Yeah,
with us.
yeah.
And the next week we played at the Camel in Richmond, and he also played with us then. Yeah, so that was a long time ago now, actually.
Yeah.
Like,
Kind of not, but
Pushing it.
it feels like a long time ago.
We're growing. We've grown.
Yes.
That's what we like to see, though.
Yeah.
Where do you guys kind of see yourself in the next 5 years?
5
Oh
years.
my.
Oh wow.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
hoping for the best. I'm always hoping for the best, right? Playing
I
in
think
Europe, like just being
Europe.
able to feel more like out or like in
I wanna go
Asia.
there.
I think
Yeah.
I really
100%.
want us to play the West Coast. Obviously, like we really want to venture out towards like Texas and then West Coast California. Like I think hopefully sooner than 5 years, but yeah, we would like to maybe tour with a band that we align with our sound with, like
Just
I don't
slow
know.
down.
Yeah.
just something like more close, because we've done our tours, and we toured with Matt and Kim, and we love them very much, and like, but we would like to,
Yeah.
maybe tour with a larger band that sounds like us, or like we take influence from. I don't know, stuff like
Like a
that.
heavy band.
I think we just want to tour. We wanna-
Kittie,
Kitty, oh my god,
I love them.
overseas.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
overseas touring.
insane. That'd
Maybe
be
playing
crazy.
more festivals. Actually,
I would love to play festivals.
would be really fun.
Just playing a
Yeah.
lot of shows and putting out
And having a
music.
good time and hanging out and being
Mhm.
friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also want us to have like an established I don't know if like genre or like sound is the best way to put it, but I feel like there's like these certain kind of like bands, like I remember like Turnstile before they were kind of like, or like Knock Loose for an example. It's like they used to be like known in the scene, but then they just had that one extra like element that really kind of just like pushed them to be kind of more, I don't know what's the right way to put it.
Unique?
Dynamic.
I guess like unique,
Dynamic.
dynamic, kind of just breaking out of just like the typical like this is just like drums, guitar, singing only, then like adding those extra elements kind of really, I don't know, and just creating like a new sound. And I think a goal, I don't know if it would ever happen yet, but I would love to have a festival, like a femme festival that is like actually like huge. you know, like one of those like big ones like Aftershock or like, you know,
Bonnaroo.
like, like big type of level kind of thing to like showcase
Like
all of that.
Thing.
Because we have like Scowl, we have Mannequin Pussy, there's Kittie, there's like just the like L7, like people are coming back into the scene and everything. I would just love to showcase a whole medley of like the cool like women that, you know, created the scene.
There was a show that came through, I think it was like last October. It was held in Raleigh, but it was the Femme Fatale Festival, and it was 3 female. It wasn't, the groups were not all female members, but they were female led.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We missed that one, Alex. We should have gone. Backhand Blue was there.
I think that would be, people would really something like that. Like, and it could be somewhere like, I don't know, somewhere centrally located.
I feel like, and also taken more seriously, because there's a lot of that stuff that happens in the local scene, or like in just like per like state, or everyone's like, oh, like the local, you know, like, or like in Asheville, like or like, you know, the femme like show like that happens every year, or like the one that happens in like or like around, not Monstercade, in Winston-Salem. There's one that happens around here. There's stuff that happens in Boone.
And they are really cool.
They are. But I'm like, I want it to be where I'm like everyone fucking knows
scale.
this thing is like happening, and we need to be appreciating like the, you know.
Well, you know, that has to start, I mean, that very well could be something that just starts with you.
Right.
Well, maybe
So
like you're coming up with the idea now, and I've been really working on trying to get, there's a festival that goes on in South Dakota, because that's where we're from. Cool. And it's called the Four Winds Music and Art Festival. And it's been going on for about, I think this is the 4th year. And it's like a 2-day event where they host bands, and then anybody who does like arts and crafts style vendor type booths. And so I've been trying to work to get the gentleman that put that together so I could get a better idea of like what all this entails, so that, you know, what you're talking about is something that could be done here.
Right, for sure.
You know, to showcase the ladies of rock in North Carolina.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. We would love. Maybe that's something in our 5-year plan. We can
Maybe
put together.
exactly. There
Put together a festival.
There definitely are like smaller scale femme-led festivals. I know there's one in Charlotte, there's one in Asheville that I can think of, where there's going to be one in Florida that we've been talking to. So I don't know. I know that they exist. It's just really kind of, getting them to be taken seriously and put on bigger stages and getting people to actually want to come. And that could definitely be something that could be really cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What did they say in, I can't remember the name of that. It's a very old baseball movie, but it's if you build it, they will come.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it the one with Tom Hanks?
A League There.
No, it's got Kevin Costner in it. Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams, yeah.
Field of Dreams. Yep.
Is that where the ghosts play baseball?
Yes.
Okay.
That is the one where the ghosts play baseball.
Sounds like really weirdly familiar to me. So
Crazy.
That field was actually like 20 miles from where I grew up.
Oh my gosh.
in South Dakota.
Well, no, that field is in Iowa, but like South Dakota is just above Iowa. So, but it could be one of those things where it takes just like a thought being thrown out there for somebody to grab that concept that you're talking about and then make it happen.
Yeah.
But then when it happens, you guys need to be on the phone being like, hey, this was my idea, and you're going to put me on that stage.
Trademark
We're
it.
trademarking it.
I feel like, the West
We will
Coast
send
has
our
a lot.
lawyers.
I feel like the West Coast has maybe some stuff like that. I feel like the East Coast just has so much to offer as well, and it would be nice to have that sort of thing. Yeah.
So, real quick, ladies, before we get off of here, it's been such a pleasure getting to chit-chat and know you guys. I know, though, I did see that you guys have an upcoming show in October.
We have a curveball.
At the local 506.
Oh,
yes.
The drag.
The drag.
Pumpkin drag show.
The pumpkin drag show. Yeah. Pumpkin drag.
Pumpkin drag.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah,
So excited.
That'll be fun. We'll be back freshly off of our tour.
Yeah. Dressed in drag.
Oh, you do have an upcoming tour then going
Yes.
on.
we are leaving in a week and a half for our East Coast tour.
Okay.
3 weeks long ish.
3 weeks. Oof. How does that work going on tour with like job life stuff?
Well, yeah, gotta prepare a bit in advance. I mean, we've been preparing for this for a few months now, but yeah, hopefully we'll be fine. We're gonna be able to pay our bills and whatnot while we're gone. It's basically gonna be the whole month of September, and we're pretty good about like financial stuff, and we've been saving our money all in this band fund. So like we're pretty set. We'll have our little van and like yeah. So we're chilling now. We've been in preparation for quite a while.
Service industry
Okay.
jobs.
So yeah,
That part
That
too.
is why. That's the only reason.
Except for
how-
Brennan.
yeah.
Well, Brennan has been saving up his vacation days at his job,
Right.
so he's using his entire vacation on this. And then we all work service industry jobs. Naomi and I work at the same restaurant, which is owned by actually my friend, basically. So she's very understanding of our schedule needs because we often have to take off days or nights for band stuff, and so we're lucky that she's very understanding and like it's not a problem for us to get that time off. So
That's cool. Yeah, I kind of was like, what kind of jobs do musicians have? If they have to take these long amounts of time off.
Yeah.
Service industry makes sense.
yeah.
It's so much easier to get that time.
Right.
Yeah. We're working
Those
on
pineapples are so sour.
Shakalicious gummies.
I love it.
Yeah.
But where can people find you on social media to follow you?
Instagram, BabeHaven Band, TikTok. We've recently been posting TikToks and they're fun. That's also BabeHaven Band, I'm pretty sure. Twitter,
BabeHaven Band.
BabeHaven Band. Bands in Town,
BabeHaven.
BabeHaven. Facebook, maybe
BabeHaven.
kind of. We have one. I don't know about that one that much, but yeah. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, all that
All
good
streaming
stuff.
platforms.
All that good stuff. All
Yeah.
streaming. Bandcamp. We're out there.
Just not SoundCloud.
Not SoundCloud, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. We're not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for coming on and chatting with us about what you're doing and where you're going and where you've been.
Yep.
And I cannot wait to see where you guys go in the next year. I'm excited.
We have no
Maybe
idea.
you guys will come back to Motorco and I'll catch you again.
I hope
Yes.
so. We love Motorco.
For sure. Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously.
thank you.
Alex, hit the button.
Why don't you have a